Hello, everybody, and welcome to the LFC Transfer Room post-match reaction for the game at Anfield. Just finished, Liverpool versus Man United. Our biggest rivals once upon a time. We've just smashed them 4-0 at Anfield, 9-0 on aggregate across both games in the Premier League this year. I'm joined for post-match reaction by Anthony and Matty. Anthony, how are you feeling?
Feeling very well, Louis. I was confident going into the match. So a lot of our fans were quite nervous going into it, saying it might be a 2-1 or 1-0 win. I just knew it beforehand we were going to blow them away.
Yeah, we had lots of quite outlandish predictions on the watch along, but they ended up being not that outlandish by the 90th minute. Quite incredible performance. Matty, how are you feeling after that one?
So no matter how bad United are, it's always so pleasing to absolutely batter them. I love it. I absolutely love it.
I mean, we can talk about individual players, starting with that front three. Even Jota, when he came on, got an assist. But the starting three, Diaz, Mane and Salah, a goal and an assist for each of them. Matty, how comforting is it to know that we've just got goals and assists galore throughout this team?
It's amazing, to be honest. I'm so happy for Salah as well. I think he needed that, and it's important to get that with the running we've got, because we have got a few tough games. But Luis Diaz, again, he is unbelievable. Like, to come into this Liverpool side, who arguably the best attack in world football right now, to come in and slot in seamlessly, he's out of this world, to be honest. And the thought of him after a full pre-season under Jurgen Klopp, it's quite scary, to be honest, how good he could potentially end up being.
Yeah, absolutely. Anthony, we have to look at the performance from Man United as well, because as good as we were, they were abysmal. How surprised were you by how little they offered apart from that 5-minute frenzy? Well, not even a frenzy, that 5-minute, little jog around at the start of the second half.
I mean, we shouldn't really be surprised by it. We beat them 5-0 at their own ground, and they've been performing like this all season. But the difference is they don't play against Liverpool every week. They play against relegation sides or relegation quality sides. Look at Norwich a few days ago; they just about beat them. But we're just that much better than them at the moment, and these are the kind of moments we just need to take in. Like, obviously, the 10 years ago is the opposite way around, but now we're in the firing line, and why not? Let's just batter Man United every single time playing.
Exactly. I mean, I said it just as we finished the watch long. At the end of the day, there are no trophies for this game, and not for beating them 9-0 overall. But Matty, it's just one of those things, whether it's a crap Liverpool beating a brilliant Man U or a really good Liverpool beating a crap Man U, you've just got to take these moments in and enjoy them whilst they last, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, if you ask any United fan how much they enjoy battering us every year when we had like reaction and stuff, they'll tell you how sweet it was. And it's the same. Like, I was in uni when United were dominating us, and I went to uni in Salford. So when we batter them, I revel in it. I've got so many people from uni who are Manx who I just text, and I'm just like, ha 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 ha. I love it. United are so bad, but for me, it's still the biggest rivalry in English football. So to have a 9-0 lead over them across 2 games this season, that's United never done that to us, and that shows just how good this Liverpool side is. Like, we're witnessing greatness. These are the days that probably our dads told us about and stuff that they witnessed when they were growing up, and we're witnessing them now. We're going to be telling our grandkids and stuff about this. It's the best Liverpool side I've ever seen in 27 years.
Yeah. Not to make this the Man United transfer room, this is the Liverpool transfer room. But Matty, I just want to ask you the same thing I asked Anthony about how bad United were today and across both legs. I know they've got injuries galore at the moment, like most of their midfielders were out, a few issues at the back as well. And obviously the things with Ronaldo, which we'll obviously leave out of this because it's a horrible situation. But the players they had on the pitch, surely they had to offer a little bit more than what they did, didn't they?
Yeah, I think with United, the problems stem from the board downwards, to be honest. Like, we were in this situation with Hicks and Gillette. I know that, but their board just throw money at them, but they don't buy the right players. Like, Pogba, I can guarantee, probably wasn't injured. He just can't be bothered playing. But then they've still got the likes of Harry Maguire. Let's not forget he's awful, but he costs more than Virgil van Dijk. They've got Spain's #1 keeper in goal. They've got Rashford, who is, according to the English media, sensational. They've got £100 million Jadon Sancho there as well. They've got like some world class players, but they just can't be bothered with United, and that's the thing. Like they're a team who buy superstars, but they can't play together. And I think until they get rid of them all and get rid of all the egos, United will never be successful.
Yeah, thank you to everybody who's just joining our post-match reaction for Liverpool 4, Man United 0. If you are new to the channel, please do like the video. Please make sure you subscribe as well. It's a great channel for all of your Liverpool and football content. And feel free to get involved in the live chat like many people are now. I'll start to have a look through these. Super, it says that United is the best game for all players who are out of form to get back in form. So, Anthony, we saw that with Salah, a goal and an assist today. We hope that in this run-in, that could be the catalyst. You know, they were saying on the commentary he hasn't scored a non-penalty goal in the Premier League, at least, since back in February. So 2 months now, which is quite a drought for someone of his standard. And Henderson as well, I think he played well, although I think that was much more mitigated by how bad United were in that midfield, starting with 2 in midfield. How much can we actually take from this game in terms of players coming back into form? I don't want to spin it into a negative, but were Man United almost that bad where it doesn't actually matter how well we played?
I'm not sure, because obviously it's more of a thing just because we played Man United, but we've blown away teams all season, like 4-0, 5-0. So it's nothing new, but it's a nice little confidence boost, obviously, for Salah. But this non-penalty goal stat is such nonsense, by the way. Like, it was never a thing until Salah came to the Premier League. Like, open play goal. It's just to force an agenda. But I thought his link-up play and his overall play for the past few games has been really good. And obviously today topped off with 2 goals and could have got a hat-trick towards the end. But same with Henderson. I thought he did slow the play down just a bit, but it wasn't a bad performance from him. And Thiago, oh my word, that's probably the best midfield performance I've seen in my lifetime, honestly.
Yeah, we'll get onto that in a moment. It was out of this world, and I almost feel like it's a shame it was against such a crap team. Like, if he can do that again in a Champions League final or an FA Cup final, that would be wonderful. But who knows? So, Matty, again, talking about this fantastic performance from us and hopefully giving us that extra bit of momentum going into this final run of fixtures. You know, we had a terrific first half against Man City as well. Does it feel like we're starting to really build up? Because for the last few months, yes, we've caught up to Man City, but we haven't always been at our retro best. Even that 5-0 win against United, maybe we weren't at our fluid best. I think this was much better from us.
Yeah, I mean, Jurgen Klopp moans about the fixture schedule, and rightfully so. It is ridiculous, but every time Liverpool play games, every 3 days, we just hit different heights. Like, the players are just always ready to go, and we're quite lucky that we've got a full fit squad as well, to be honest, going into this point of the season. But every time Liverpool play games back to back to back, it's when we play our best, and it's just showing again now. Like, let's not forget the end of last season. Although we had a poor start, the end was fantastic in us getting that top 4, and I think it's just hitting it again now. Liverpool, in my non-biased opinion, genuinely are the best side in the world. Like, to close a 15-point gap on Manchester City is ridiculous. Like, no one should be doing that with the side. They've got the depth, they've got the money, they've spent, but we've done it, and it just speaks levels about how good Liverpool are as a side and the depth in it and stuff. And like, people are saying that we're in for a big transfer window this summer, but look how strong we look every single week. Like, and if you're adding people to that, we're just gonna get better. And like, everyone today, for me, 8, 9 out of 10. I'd probably even go as far as saying 10 out of 10 from most of the players. It was just an inch perfect performance. And I wouldn't say it was down to a poor United side either. I think some of the football Liverpool played, United couldn't get the ball. It doesn't matter how bad they are as a side. The football that we're playing, it's like prime Brazil.
Yeah. Lillian in chat says a walk in the park for Liverpool. 21 people, 22 people watching, only 5 or so likes at present. Let's change that. Let's get the likes up. If you are new, please do subscribe as well. We've had a really good day in terms of new subscribers, so please do feel free to join that. Of course, let's talk about Thiago. I think he deserves his own little segment. He must be getting man of the match now on Sky Sports. That should be no surprise to anybody. Matty, coming back to you, just sum up that performance in words.
It's hard to find words, to be honest with you. He's potentially one of the best passers of a football I've seen in a Liverpool shirt, and I've watched like Alonso, Gerrard, etc. live. And Thiago against City on Saturday, unbelievable. Ran the game again today. Ran the game, and this is the Thiago we signed. If you keep Thiago fit, this is what he does. He's arguably one of the best central midfielders in world football and has been for 6 or 7 years consistently. It's just the injuries that seem to hamper him, but he's world class. He really is world class. I mean, I've seen a few comments now about him being one of the best midfielders Liverpool have ever had, but Stevie will always take that for me. But Thiago's every time you watch him, he just excites you. Yeah, his passing is just unbelievable. It's so good, and he just oozes class on the ball, and he's just an absolute joy to watch. He really is, and he's adored by every single one of us for how good he is. He just links everything up, and if we play in a Champions League final tomorrow, I think Thiago wins you the game. He's that influential in that midfield.
Yeah, and I think we've seen it in the past as well, but beyond his passing, his defensive work rate has been sensational. We've talked a lot about the midfield three and how it operates slightly differently from a regular 3 in a 4-3-3, where the CDM and the left mid, the left side, they're more about controlling the game. So Thiago's obviously slightly further back, helping out with some defensive work. And today, Anthony, we saw a lot of that, constant blocks, some really big, vital tackles that not only win us the ball back, but get the crowd up on their feet as well. We talked about his injury problems, Matty just said there, but for the last few weeks, he's been selected most games, and he's managed to keep himself relatively free. I mean, if he stays fit every game between now and the end of the season, what could that mean for us?
It means a quadruple, Louis. I think was it his former manager who said just before he signed for Liverpool, if he starts every single match for us, we never lose a single match. It just shows he's got everything to his game. That you could talk about. Obviously, his goal scoring stats aren't great, but we don't need him to score goals. We don't need him to push up the field that much. Obviously, we can rely on our forwards. We've got 5 of them now, so his role is just he does it so perfectly for us, and there's no one who can replace him. I know we're all fans of De Bruyne, but if he were to be put in Thiago's position, would he do the same thing? I don't think so. I think he's just the best of what he does.
Matty, just a quick trip down memory lane to maybe November, December time last year, like middle of a COVID football season, no fans in the crowds. Thiago just signed, and pundits left, right, and centre were accusing him of slowing down our play, and he doesn't suit the style. I mean, what do you have to say to those people now?
Jurgen Klopp doesn't get signings wrong. He just doesn't. He really doesn't. And that, I think Thiago, a lot of people raised eyebrows. A lot of people also said how good he was. I think Wayne Rooney made a comment saying it was Liverpool getting Thiago would have been more important than Messi going to City. And it's showing now. It really is. Like, just look at the performance he's putting in. People take time to gel, and there's players who just play better with a crowd anyway. Look at Roberto Firmino. When there's a crowd, then Roberto Firmino's a different player. So Thiago might be one of them players who just needed the crowd. I think a lot of players found it weird playing in a COVID season with not many fans and stuff. And it showed really, because look, full Anfield, everyone's singing his name. He loves it. He absolutely loves it, and he's just a different player. And now he's settled in, he's gelled in, he gets to know the players, got to know our style of play. He looks like he's been playing for us for years and years, not just 12 months.
Yeah. If we're going to be fully objective and somewhat unbiased, but not likely, of course, in that opening 5 minutes or so in the second half wasn't quite as controlling as we would have liked it. United still crap, but looks like they were maybe growing into it a little bit as we'd backed off. There was a moment, I don't know whether you saw it, Anthony, where I think Virgil put a bit of a stray ball or a bit of a lackadaisical ball into Robertson, and Robertson was straight on to Virgil, telling him, like, we've got to sharpen up. Klopp as well was furious on the sidelines. I mean, I don't want to brag, but what a team we've got. You know, this is Virgil van Dijk we're talking about, where most of us, if we were put into a room with him, I think we'd all kind of, you know, bow down and not quite know how to act in front of a Rolls-Royce defender. But no one is above anybody in this team, are they? The manager, your left back, anybody can get onto you if you make a mistake. And ultimately, after that, we fixed up and we were on our way back in control of the game again, weren't we?
That's probably one of the reasons why we're so successful. Like at Man United, they've got Ronaldo, there's room full of egos essentially, and that's probably why one of the reasons they're not succeeding at Liverpool. It doesn't matter who makes a mistake. Each one of the players are onto that player who's made it, and obviously Van Dijk was the victim in this scenario, but it's a rare mistake. A bit of complacency from him, but yeah, it's obviously good to see from the players, and hopefully it brings us more success.
Yeah, same your sort of thoughts on that, Matty. Again, United is a really good example. Ronaldo, when he's in the team, you know, Maguire's not going to tell him off, or if he does, Ronaldo's just going to laugh in his face, isn't he? But again, part of our success is that we don't seem to have that kind of problem with different cliques and players on different levels in a hierarchy necessarily.
Yeah, Liverpool don't buy superstars, we make them. Liverpool have always had that philosophy, really. You could argue Thiago is probably the biggest superstar Liverpool have signed in the past 5-10 years, because Van Dijk was unbelievable. We wasn't a world famous superstar, so to speak, when we signed him. Same with Alisson Becker. Like the status of them as footballers has elevated to another level since coming to Liverpool, and that's what makes a successful team. Liverpool aren't any individuals. We're 11 players and then your bench as well, and it's always been that way, and that's what makes us so successful. You could even argue it's the same at Manchester City as well, as much as I can't stand them. They have a few superstars, but the superstars haven't got the egos, and they do work as a team. And then when you get into teams where there's egos and stuff within them, it doesn't work. Look at Chelsea with Lukaku's ego. You've got United with like Ronaldo, Fernandes, etc., etc. Egos don't work in football. It's a team sport, and it shows so much now, because the two most successful teams in England at the minute are a team. They aren't full of egos, really.
Yeah. Staying with you on that one, again, not the Man United transfer room, but what's next for them? It's not like they were playing for nothing. It's not like their season's over. If they'd have won this game, they would have temporarily gone level on points for fourth place. The top four race is still wide open, because all of the teams in that conversation keep on bottling the games. So what's next for them? It looks like their players have timed out.
I think if they get top four, it's a huge success for United this year. But if they're not careful, they could find themselves in the Conference League, not even the Europa League, to be honest with you. There's them 7 or 8 positions are so tight, and it feels like nobody wants top four. No, they all keep slipping up, but then that is good for Liverpool in a sense. You want teams like United and Spurs to be getting beat, because then that's opening the gap for the likes of West Ham and stuff to then maybe sneak in, and then City's got to play West Ham. So results like this are still working in Liverpool's favour, but for United, I don't think that Ten Hag can come in and be the answer. I mean, I've seen something where he's come out and said Maguire's going straight away when he comes in, and that's probably what they need. They need someone to come in and just get rid of all the deadwood. Ronaldo's 37, and I think without his goals this year, United would probably be 10th or 11th in the league. That shows how bad. I know Ronaldo's unbelievable, but he's not what he was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And he's carrying the team at the age of 37. I think that just speaks levels, and it's just how the mighty have fallen. It's gorgeous to watch.
Anthony, let's just have because this is a brilliant team performance. Let's just have a look at a couple more individuals. So obviously Salah, someone at the start of this show that we've talked about, who did need a goal, and of course did get one, a goal, 2 goals and an assist overall. Is he back? Is he back? Because despite those goals, sometimes the ball would come to him and he'd have a bit of an off touch. Sometimes he just, it felt like he was still, even with those 2 goals, he was still felt like he had a chip on his shoulder trying to dribble past one too many players, maybe overthinking it. Do you think we're going to see the best of him in these last few games?
Definitely. These are sort of matches where the big players shine, and it's not the first time we've seen Salah have a little drought and then come back and score God knows how many goals. There's a reason he's finished our top scorer for the past 3 or 4 seasons, and he's going to do the same this season. We need him whenever we need him most. He always turns up, and it's a good thing. It's not only him turning up. We've got Mane. Mane, my word, he looks like a completely different player playing that centre forward role. And obviously Diaz looks incredible. There's not many forwards we could have signed who would have kind of completely just wowed the whole fan base and thought he adds something completely unique to us. And Diaz has done that. And then obviously Jota should have scored at the end from that corner, but we'll let him off. He got the assist, and yeah, I could see Salah. He's back already, and he's going to be firing in the goal.
Yeah, hopefully. Speaking of Mane, Matty, I mean, this move to playing him quite regularly as the false 9. I mean, it seems like maybe we could have seen it coming, but it seems like almost a stroke of genius. Like it's revitalized him. He does look like an almost changed man.
How many seasons of Liverpool fan base wrote my man Sadio off? It's mad. It's absolutely mad. And if Liverpool win everything this year, Sadio Mane's a serious shout for the Ballon d'Or. He really is. Like the form he's in, he's won the AFCON, he's got his country qualified for the World Cup. Sadio Mane is unbelievable. He's absolutely unbelievable. And I think that a lot of people underappreciate Sadio just because of how good Mohamed Salah really is. But Sadio Mane, he's up there. He's one of the best attackers in world football, and he started the Klopp revolution. Really, he was one of the first players who he brought in, and he started it. And I just pray he gets a new deal. To be honest with you, I really don't want to see Sadio go, and he's a different player in that number 9, and it shows how versatile he is. Because when we signed him, he played on the right, then he moved to the left when we got Salah. Now we've got Diaz, he's moving into the centre, and every single time he puts performances in, he's unbelievable. And I think there needs to be a bit more respect on his name, to be fair, from quite a lot of our fan base.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't deny that his start to the season was under par out on that left side, or do you think he was underappreciated?
Yeah, I think he's underappreciated. Like, let's not forget, he's a winger. Like, on the wings, you ultimately provide an assist and link up play and stuff. You're number 9, you don't want to usually get your goals. So I think by Mane's standards, he didn't have the best start to the season, but that's because he's set the bar so high over the past few years. By a winger's standards, he probably was having an all right season, to be fair. Liverpool's wingers are just freaks in nature who can just score and assist like no tomorrow. But if you throw Mane into any team in the Premier League, I think he has as much of an impact. Like, he's that good, and I just think he's criminally underappreciated by a large proportion of our fan base. To be honest, he's world class, and he always has been, and he always will be, and that's why he starts every week for Jurgen Klopp. Like, Jurgen Klopp sees these players week in, week out, and no matter what, Sadio Mane always gets a position in that starting 11. Whether he has to move into another place, he always starts, and I think that shows just how good he actually is.
Anthony, just very briefly, because we will, of course, have a separate preview for Everton closer to the game, but in terms of squad rotation, something that we've seen a little bit of the last few weeks, especially that right-sided 8 role, Keita and Henderson swapping over from game to game, and Matip and Konate. But for Everton, I feel like there might be something else in store. I feel like there could be wider scale changes. Do you maybe share that belief? Like, I think Tsimikas will come in. I wouldn't be surprised to see Gomez make an appearance, maybe at right back, give Trent a rest for the Champions League. What are you thinking might be on Klopp's mind for that one?
Yeah, likewise. I think Tsimikas will come in, Konate for probably Matip, and Gomez for Trent, and probably Keita come in for Henderson. I think Henderson lasted the full 90, didn't he, against United? And Firmino out with an injury is not good, but obviously we got Jota there, and either of the front 3 can start for us, so that's good news. But I we're going to blow Everton away regardless what lineup we play against them. And another thing with Mane, I just want to, bit off topic, I just want to add on to what Matty said about obviously Salah. He probably gets underappreciated because of how many goals Salah gets, but Mane's never really been that goal scorer for us. Like, obviously he won the Golden Boot 18-19 season, but he only got like 20 goals or whatever to win it, so it wasn't like impressive. But even towards the end of last season, he was scoring in the last sort of 10 matches for us. Obviously against Crystal Palace to help us secure top 4. And he this false 9 role, and ever since he came back from AFCON, just been unbelievable. But yeah, back to the Everton. I do think there'll be some changes, but not like he's not going to make 7 or 8 different ones.
Mm.
And just to end on, I know both your answers. I think Matty, man of the match for today.
Thiago Alcantara.
God, I wondered who you were going to say then when you paused. Anthony, and you?
Likewise, say Thiago Alcantara again.
Yeah, full house, and I'm sure that I think you'd struggle to find someone who doesn't agree with that decision. But that pretty much wraps us up for the post-match reaction and this entertaining night of football, to say the least, as Liverpool round out as 4-0 winners against Man United at Anfield. A scintillating performance capped off by goals from our wonderful front three and Diogo Jota off the bench with an assist as well. So thank you to everybody who's been watching. Thank you to Matty and Anthony for joining me on this post-match reaction. If you haven't done already, please do subscribe and like this video as well. It really helps us out. And we will see you in the next video. Thank you very much and take care.